Are you waiting for the Switch 2 but don't know what to play in the meantime? With the hype cycle in full swing, it's easy to forget that right now is the perfect time to catch up on the must-play titles. But the question is, which ones are actually worth your time? Let's go over the best games to play right now before the Switch 2 arrives. The Nintendo Switch has been home to some of the most unforgettable gaming experiences of the past decade. And if you're like Patrick Star and live under a rock and missed out on its exclusives, now is the time to catch up. Of course, we first have to talk about The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And its sequel, Tears of the Kingdom. Breath of the Wild wasn't just another Zelda game, it was a complete reinvention of the series, throwing players into a massive open world where freedom was the name of the game. Whether you were climbing mountains, experimenting with crazy physics-based interactions, or just cooking up dubious food combinations, there was always this magic and something new to discover. And Tears of the Kingdom took this foundation and cranked it up to the Sky Islands. You had very cool mechanics they added and game-changing abilities like the Ultra Hand, which let players create everything from battle-ready vehicles to flying machines. The reason I start with these ones is because they're two of the most influential and celebrated open-world games of all time, making them an absolute must-play for any Nintendo fan. If there's one game on the Switch that purely captures the joy of movement and creativity, it's gotta be Super Mario Odyssey. The moment you take control of Mario and his companion Cappy, you realize just how much freedom you have in the game. The ability to possess enemies and objects opens up an entirely new layer of exploration. And every location in the game feels unique and packed with charm. But what makes Odyssey truly special in my opinion is how it rewards curiosity. There's always a power moon just out of reach, encouraging you to explore. It's a love letter to everything that makes Mario great, and honestly, one of the best platformers ever made. I could talk more about the big names, but it's easy to overlook some absolute gems hiding in the eShop. Hades is hands down one of the best roguelikes ever made, blending fast-paced combat with surprisingly deep story. Every run feels fresh, and the way it weaves narrative progression into its gameplay loop makes it impossible to put down. Then we have one of my favorite games, Cult of the Lamb, which takes the cutesy charm of games like Animal Crossing and mixes it with dark, dungeon crawling action. One minute you're leading your adorable followers in a cult, and the next you're battling eldritch horrors. It is pretty weird, but in all the best ways. And if you want something more casual but ridiculously fun, Boomerang Fu is an underrated party game that delivers pure chaos. It's simple, slice your friends up with a boomerang, but the fast rounds and power-ups make every match unpredictable. These are the kind of games that might not have gotten the spotlight they deserved, but they're must-plays before the Switch 2 arrives, because I don't know if they will be backwards compatible. So these were the best games to play while waiting for the Switch 2.